Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Straight Up Warlords. I am your host, Jem, the implacable taskmaster, and with me is the mistress with the stubborn tenacity, Cat,
Hi, everyone.
and the disgustingly resilient Diesel.
Hey, how you doing, everyone?
And this month we are talking about the Space Marines, specifically the Angels of Death, specifically the Dark Angels and the Blood Angels, because, it's quite synonymous, but it's also, whenever you see Codex Angels of Death, that means Dark Angels and Blood Angels. At least that's what they were called in, I think, 3rd edition. It was Codex Angels of Death. There were those two.
I think every Space Marine is just Angels of Death, aren't they?
Well,
So
Angels
much now,
of
but yeah, there was the big tagline for Deathwing was "We are the Angels of Death" as they're going in on pods.
Yeah,
into space.
It's synonymous with Space Marines in general, but it's also a term that is more readily used for Blood Angels and Dark Angels because they have the same term Angels in the name anyway. But generally, the populace of the Imperium will see a Space Marine and just go, "The Emperor's Angels." So I wonder what they say when they see Custodes. Anyway,
no one does see the Custodes.
They certainly don't see
if
them.
Custodes are intervening on your planet, you are in a serious amount of trouble. Like, you're probably already dead.
Either that, or there is one particular person on the planet that is going to be important to the Imperium.
And if it ain't you, you're dead.
It seems like nobody's seen the Custodes without their helmets on in 10,000 years because people have only just figured out that some of them are female.
Yes. So it's such a weird retcon.
It's one of those things where the reason that it wasn't a thing before was because the writers had said, "Oh yeah, it would be cool if they did that," and then someone up top went, "We don't have any female models lined up for them, so don't make them female."
Yeah, I'm not too bothered with female Custodes. I think they just handled it terribly. Like, it was awful. Like, the whole come out and say it's a record. Just come out and say you're changing it. Like, don't just try that's always better. Like, okay, my guy, just you retcon so much. Just say it's a record.
It's one of those things where every time that GW says there's something new coming, they then turn around and say it's always been there, and it's always been the same thing. And just they are just... the people who make the models and people who make the lore are lazy writers, and so then they get the Black Library writers to actually fill out all that stuff afterwards.
I feel like what's going to annoy me the most is I reckon they're going to just make a few Custodes head changes to make female heads, which is fine, but then they're going to just ignore the Sister of Silence models. I feel like we're not going to get any Sister of Silence models. We're just going to get a head swap. And they're going to go, there you go.
It's going to be an upgrade sprue in every Custodes box set that gives you female heads for it.
Yeah, rather than them bother it. It's just lazy, I think, rather than them investing into, actual new model designs and things.
And what I have heard is that someone brought it up and they went to their local game store to ask about it. And the guy in charge of it went, "Oh, you know what? We've actually been doing some research into this and seeing how the heads fit. Female guard heads and Sisters of Battle heads are too small. Same with Sisters of Silence heads. But apparently, the Escher heads from Necromunda are big enough."
Okay. Was that just until the upgrade sprues come out?
Oh yeah, until the upgrade sprues come out, yeah. So if you do want to make a female custodian, and you've got enough money to buy both the custodian kit and the Escher kit, then there's your answer until you do the upgrade spree. Or just put a helmet on it and just say it's a woman.
Yeah, basically. I mean, Custodies being so genetically altered, it wouldn't look like a woman anyway. It would. They're just like 8 foot tall mounds of meat at this point. It doesn't really matter on gender. You won't tell the difference.
But people want their muscle mummies, Diesel.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you right now, they're gonna be more muscle than Mummy. I'm just gonna get that out there.
I agree.
They're gonna be, like they've got those genetically altered cows in America where they're just steroided to a ridiculous degree. That's what they'll look like.
Yeah.
Both genders are that. Huge slabs of beef.
That's what I've said about female Space Marines. Like, if they do exist, they will just look like the other Space Marines. Just there might be the hint of feminine features, but then you can just explain it away to everyone else as, oh, that's someone who maybe had been a loyalist Emperor's children or something. or Blood Angel. Blood Angels are apparently very pretty.
They are. They're all
unless you look at the actual
absolute
pictures of them and see just how scarred and messed up they look. And apparently they are considered handsome.
Well, they probably were before, they took a chainsaw to the face or something. Grievous injuries aside, they're weirdly because even if they weren't very good looking before they get upgraded, they suddenly become very good looking after the gene seed's implanted. So it's weirdly a gene seed thing, unless it's not, because they don't go into detail of why this is. So unless they're doing some plastic surgery on the table, they're like.
It could also be the case that the standards of beauty have changed between now and the year 41,000, which, considering they change every generation, you can imagine that they are very different to what we would imagine them to be now.
Yeah.
So maybe, guys who are more scar than flesh are probably the most attractive people in the world at that point. Well, the universe.
It probably goes to show that they've actually survived some shit. So, which is always a good thing in 40k. Like this guy has survived and knows how to fight. So he might be around for a while, unlike everyone else.
Yeah,
especially if you're a guardsman.
That being said, there's also that transhuman dread you have to get past.
There is that, yeah.
Anyway, let's get into talking about the Dark Angels and Blood Angels. As well, we've got some time. That's what we're here to talk about. So we'll start off with the Dark Angels for reasons that will become apparent later. Dark Angels are the first they were the first Legion before the Codex Astartes.
Legion number 1. Big old Legion number 1.
We're number one. We're number one.
Lionel Johnson.
Yes, the Lion.
Who was
named after a poet who wrote a poem about being gay.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah, Lionel Johnson. Okay. He wrote a poem. I believe it was called "The Rock," and it was about being a closeted gay man. All about secrets and that kind of stuff, which explains their chapter. Well, how they act anyway, because they're always keeping secrets.
Yeah, they're a very paranoid group. Well, probably the most. Maybe the Inquisition just pips them.
I mean, considering that they murder Inquisition agents as a pastime, I'm going to guess that maybe
that's true.
Who's going to the Dark Angels to investigate them isn't as paranoid as they are.
Yeah, we don't know what happened. He accidentally tripped over a bolt gun when his bolt gun went off, and somehow shot himself in the back of the head.
Oops, I slipped, and Exterminatus is the planet he was on.
he took a wrong turn and slipped out the airlock. You know.
He
Yeah,
got hit
they're
by one of those orc snipers.
one of those orc snipers. Yeah, the greats. There are actual. There is an orc sniper now in the commandos kill team, isn't there?
Yeah, no, I have one. Yeah,
Yeah. There are. So
he has
although I'm
demonstrably worse stats than the sniper in every other kill team, but he's got better stats than every other orc.
yeah, exactly. Which is like pretty cool. I like that they've made them snipers, but they're obviously not very good. Like they're
But
not, shooting space marines from 3 miles away in a valley while the space marines are fighting other orcs and hitting every space marine perfectly between the eyes.
yeah, to be fair, that orc snipers one was actually a reference to the Celestial Lions. Their chapter master was murdered in front of the Black Templars by a the Inquisition said it was an orc sniper, but it was the Inquisition.
Oh yeah, it was absolutely Vindicars. Like, just sniping them out. Like, there's no way it was orcs.
Yeah, but yeah, the Dark Angels, they come from a planet called Caliban, which was destroyed and is now back as a demon world.
Yeah, good old Vashtor has
Vashtor.
taken it over. Vashtor the Archifiend, which I hope at some point he gets better stats because he absolutely is garbage at the minute.
Such a cool model.
Like
such garbage stats.
He's always been such a cool model, and he's been so garbage since
Apparently
day one release.
Apparently, he's getting
He's getting his own detachment. I've heard.
yeah, he's getting his own detachment.
So let's hope that they buff him or something, or do something. They didn't even points drop him in the new Data Slayer that just came out.
Yeah, I have
They didn't
noticed
touch him.
actually. I have noticed I can swap out my Venom Crawler for a Maulafine now.
Oh, nice.
So I might.
Well, you can get a Maulafine for the same price as a Venom Crawler.
No, it's everything else has come down enough that I can swap it out and
No, you can
be
just
up to
spit it.
1,000 points because I think I'm 35 points below 1,000 at the
Oh,
moment.
damn. Okay. Oh, fair enough. Damn, bring the Maulafine.
You want to get revenge on the Maulafine, don't you?
It did. Yeah, you had a really good game with it. You sandwiched my Terminators with that and Lord Discordant, didn't you?
I know
Your
that.
Lord Discordant ran at me from behind, and it took me like I think your Morphine just stood there and stamped on Terminators for like 3 whole turns till they were gone.
Yeah, but I think first that the Maulafine went after the what was it, Plague Bearers or Poxwalkers.
Plague Marines. Oh, Poxwalkers. Yeah.
Yeah, it went after Poxwalkers first. Well, you moved the Poxwalkers into stop it from attacking the Terminators, and then it went through them and went to the Terminators.
Yeah, I just went through everything. I couldn't kill it. You just made ridiculous saves for it. It's really impressive.
I do love it. It's one of my favorite models. The other one being my Helldrake.
Yeah, I don't know if Helldrakes. I think Helldrakes will probably just suffer from the the Flyers turn 1 issue, I assume.
Yeah, well, because Games Workshop came out with Flyers, and then Flyers were too powerful, and so they made them. Well, they sort of like nerfed them into the ground at this point.
Yeah, there's a lot they've done that with.
The issue is that they're still really cool models, so I'm still going to be running Flyers in pretty much every army that I play.
Yeah, you might as well for theme if you like them. Plus, they're pretty good. They've got a lot of flamers and stuff, haven't they?
Well, mine has a flamer, but I could turn it into a warthog and give it a machine gun in its mouth.
Oh, damn. Okay.
But I'd rather have the flamer because it's a dragon. Anyway, we're on a tangent.
DBA. Really.
So the Dark Angels, they are currently led by the Lion again.
Lionel Johnson. Yeah, the Lions Come Back, which was actually pretty well done. I really liked it in Arc of Omens. Arc of Omens was just a good series.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he's come back. He's been apparently back for a while. I haven't read the books to see what he's sort of up to.
So they made a reference to him being back in the first Arc of Omen book, but nobody knew what they were talking about because everyone thought it was going to be the Exodite Elder,
Oh, okay.
because it was like, oh, there's plant life here, and then everyone's been killed by a massive sword. And everyone was like, well, plant life, that's Exodite Elder, obviously.
I don't know. They do plant life. I think they're more dinos, aren't they?
They are more dinos, but they are sort of like space farmers.
Yeah, they're sort of they're supposed to be like just really how do I describe them? They're like
Space
go to a
Amish.
planet and just space Amish. That's probably the best way to describe them.
So
Because I know what's his name? Tresem in the Infinite Divide goes and steals their fucking what's it called? Their
World
soul
Soldiers.
gem thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, where all their dead souls are locked up, and he just takes it and ruins their entire civilization. Good old Tresem.
Yeah, good old trading. But yeah, it turns out that the plant life is there because that's how the lion uses his psychic powers to teleport places. He literally walks through a warped version of Caliban.
Yes.
And then I guess plant life grows where he comes out in warp. Well,
It's like
material.
it's old Caliban's forest, right?
Yeah.
Where he was, because I believe he landed in the forest of Caliban, which was like, which is like, it was a medieval sort of, it was a feudal
Yeah,
planet, wasn't it?
it
Caliban.
was a feudal world, but with like power armor and chainswords and bolt guns.
Yeah. So, but very like knight-esque theme where there were lots of
Yeah,
lords and families and nobles, but they lived in the settlements, and outside the settlements were massive forests with loads of mutated sort of demon. I don't think they were quite demon-like. They were more like chaos spawn sort of
they were
creatures.
sort of like chaos spawn, chaos beast sort of thing.
Yeah, they were definitely like basically heavily chaos influenced the wildlife, which became heavily mutated. But he was in the forest, and well, he crash landed in the forest, and just spent his younger years pretty much as a savage, surviving by going around and killing these beasts and presumably eating them.
Yeah,
And he's pretty savage, Primarch. He's pretty brutal.
yeah. People like to say that he and what was it, Lehman Russ are sort of like opposites, where Lehman Russ is a sort of nobleman who pretends to be a barbarian, and the lion is a barbarian who pretends to be a nobleman.
Yeah, I get that sort of vibe. Although to be fair, now he's come back, he's chilled out quite a lot.
Yeah, he's realised
He's
he
really
fucked
chill.
up.
Yeah.
He's one of the sort of two Primarchs who realised they fucked up their kids.
Yeah.
The,
Yep. Like,
the other one
who's
being Magnus.
To be fair, that was. I mean, Magnus has done stuff wrong. I'm not going to go on the whole hype train that Magnus has done nothing wrong, but
no. Magnus,
a lot of Magnus's stuff was not his fault, or he maybe, but
Magnus did nothing wrong. He was told to do nothing, and he did it wrong.
that's true. That is true. But it was mostly Armin that fucked that.
Oh yeah, but he did it because his dad wouldn't do anything about it, and his dad didn't tell him why he wasn't doing anything about it.
Like father, like son, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Bad genetics. Bad space dad.
Uh,
But yeah, so Dark Angels are so that's their Primarch's. He's a great duelist.
Yeah,
Carries around the Emperor's shield and just recently 1v1'd Angron. Although
yeah.
Angron didn't give a fuck because he was pretty much back instantly because he just does that sort of thing.
He
Um,
beat Angron to death with the shield.
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. He decapitated him with the shield, I believe.
Yeah.
But the lion was almost killed as well. It was a very close fight still, so it was
Yeah.
pretty good. I like it when it's not just a one. I don't know. Actually, there's been a few good fights,
I
fights
do
where it's a good ass whooping.
I do also like that the Emperor's shield wasn't a shield that the Emperor wore on his arm, but was his tilting shield off of his armor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it on a normal person it would have been about a foot tall.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So either warp shenanigans has made it into a shield befitting of a Primarch, or the size of the Emperor was massive.
Yeah, you never get really a. I mean, maybe they do in the Horus Heresy books, but he does seem. I've seen some pictures of him on the Golden Throne. He does seem ridiculous, but I don't know if they're canon books, canon artworks. I assume not. He can't be that big.
The thing about the Emperor is that he is never consistently described in any of the books.
Yeah, which is an issue.
So you can't say that the Emperor looks like this or looks like that because he looks different to everyone who perceives it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he just projects into everyone's eyes the ideal visage
Yeah,
of him.
good old actually exactly like good old Slaanesh.
Yeah.
Does that as well. A little bit too similar there, Mr. E.
To be fair, he did steal power from the gods, so he probably stole that power from Slaanesh.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I do like how in one of the books he says that he's a scientist. He's not a warlord or a god. He just projects that because that's what people expect of him, but not. But he is just a scientist. So I imagine that he's actually just there in like scrubs and a lab coat, maybe some goggles.
I mean, what he said he wasn't a warlord.
But yeah, not this shining golden one.
Well, he definitely isn't a like he's done a lot of terrible things.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, if he was going to describe himself as a warlord, he would probably make himself look like Hitler. Let's be honest.
He's much more. He's much more powerful than him. Yeah. To be fair, with he was a lot of genocide.
Yeah,
a lot of genocide in the Great Crusade, and a lot of it was unnecessary. But hey ho.
Anyway, they're back to the Dark Angels. Their current chapter master is Azrael, and has the only Watcher in the Dark that talks.
That's interesting.
I don't actually know if that's canon, because I haven't really read that many Dark Angels books outside of the Horus
No
Heresy.
one really knows what the Watchers in the Dark are.
Because I know that the Watchers talk to Zahariel in the old books, but it seems like they don't talk to anyone other than very key figures in the Dark Angels, like obviously the Lion and Azrael, apparently.
Mm.
They might even talk to Cypher if he was ever around them.
Yeah, if he wasn't being a complete mystery. Deliberately sketchy to everybody. Including, didn't he escape from the Imperial Palace as well?
Yeah, and got within like meters of the gate between the Emperor and everyone else, and then was convinced not to go and kill the Emperor.
Oh, okay.
With just the words, not yet.
Yeah, because that gives into the perpetual story of the Emperor being a perpetual and can come back.
Yeah.
If he dies. But might have some repercussions. Chaos is messing up half the universe, and they don't have Big E. Gilman ain't gonna get no res powers the next time he gets his ass beat.
Well, you say that.
Yeah, it's 40k. They'll find a way.
Yeah. I mean, he did also burn part of the Nurgle's garden,
Yeah.
which I still can't believe that they actually did that.
It was the greatest like Deus Ex Machina I've ever seen. Like, yeah, it'd be interesting. Although the Godblight's still around, so they've got a disease that can just straight up kill a Primarch.
Yeah, a Primarch.
He might be able to grow.
It probably, if they keep enough of it around, they probably could kill all of the Primarchs if they wanted to. But I imagine that what GW are doing are bringing back all the Primarchs that are alive and having a Primarch-like model for everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to bring back Ferris.
No, I expected the Iron Hands will get something else like a probably a unit with like the Iron Council sort of thing where they've got I think it's like 8 dreadnoughts or something like that.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
That's my theory anyway. Or they might get like a really cool dreadnought model or something like that. Dreadnought character.
Yeah, hopefully they get something. If they're, who died Chaos side? Oh, Kurz. Yeah, Kurz ain't coming back. Yeah,
ain't coming back.
They ain't coming back, unfortunately.
No, I for Night Lords I expect that they'll get something like a Decimus.
Well, yeah, they should get Decimus, which will be absolutely fantastic if they get Decimus.
Yeah,
because Decimus is a G. I do really like Decimus. Tangent again.
yeah, tangent again. Speaking of Dark Angels and Chaos, we should really talk about the Fallen.
The Fallen are a big part, yeah.
They are a big part of the Dark Angel story where half the Legion turned traitor, but they were not necessarily on the side of Horus, they were just against the Imperium.
Well, it was very complicated because what I understand, it was the Lion's adopted father or whatever. Was Lucius?
Luther.
Lucan? Luther. Lucius the Eternal, yeah, was the dude. God, what bad dad he would have been. But Luther basically always resented the fact that this kid from the forest was so much better than him in every way because, Primarch.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of resentment there, and then they believed that, because I believe there was an assassination attempt that they did.
There was an assassination attempt. Luther was going to let it happen. Zahariel found out about it, and Luther then came to Zahariel's aid to stop it from happening. But then the Lion
figured out basically that Luther knew about the assassination attempt.
Yeah. The Lion figured it out, like, that Luther was feeling guilty, and he figured out that Zahariel was in some way involved in it. Although I don't know how he figured that out. No,
but the point was Luther and his most loyal boys thought that the Lion, because Lionel Johnson is not the most, especially during the Horus Heresy. He's like I said, there's a lot more chill now. He's not the most. He doesn't answer his problems with words most of the time. Exterminatus is right up there on his list of how to end a conversation he doesn't like. So, yeah, it's fair that Luther thought that he was going to come and murder him for that, and then they took a stand. It's basically what happened. So, there's nothing to do with chaos, really.
Yeah. What happened was after that, obviously, Lion banished the people that were involved in it. Well, those two, and then a whole bunch of other people for no real reason for the rest of them. We never really find the reason why he banished half the Legion.
Yeah,
but he sent them back to Caliban to recruit and train up the next Dark Angels. But then I don't. From the sounds of things, when you read the second book, Fallen Angels, they never actually went and picked up any of the recruits.
Okay. Well, maybe the heresy was going on, so it sort of makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, but the way that it's shown is that the heresy is happening, but obviously the new recruits are now starting to be recruited and trained to be loyal to Luther rather than the Lion.
Yep.
And obviously Luther is then looking into the forbidden decks from the was it the Wildwoods order, the Night Order from the Wilds.
Okay.
And starts learning about like chaos magic and that from them. So he ends up at the end with loads of like chaotic sigils tattooed all over him and stuff like that. But again, the thing is that he isn't acting like a normal chaos worshipper or anything. He's acting like a somebody who's just been like a lover spurned sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more resentment than anything else.
Yeah, but he's still not like when you read the books, he's still not entirely like against the Lion at that point. He's sort of like, well, someone needs to step up. We need to actually do something because we're all getting sick and tired of just sitting here on this planet. We need to go out and get some glory for ourselves.
Yeah, he feels like he's been relegated, really.
Yeah.
He's spiteful about the whole thing, and
yeah,
feels like he's been deliberately like passed over and left behind to do a menial task when he could be bringing, righteous justice upon the enemies of humanity.
yeah. But the best part is that in that same book, the Lion punches Zahariel's cousin in the head and beheads him with his fist.
Yes, and that's for this is what I was meaning about. He's not a conversationalist. He doesn't like to talk things out rationally. Because what that guy was, I believe, he was a chaplain, correct?
Yes,
he wanted to. He basically didn't. They'd just been attacked by demons because they were fighting chaos, and the Counts of Nicaea had just been a thing where psychers were banned.
Yeah,
and so no psychic powers could be used, which is like the thing you need to fight demons.
Yeah.
So I believe one of the librarians was just like, fuck it, I'm going to start unloading, and it basically saved everyone. The librarians just going, you know what, we're going to do our job. Which the Lion was like, you know what, fair enough, you did your job, it worked. That's what we're going to, skip the Council of Nicaea for the moment because demons are everywhere. And his chaplain was not having it.
Yeah,
because he was like, this is the decree from the Emperor. Yeah,
it's the word of the Emperor. You're not allowed to do that. And the Lion was like, "I'm not going to convince you." So,
yeah, I can't use my words. So I'm just going to punch your head clean off your body in front of everybody.
Yeah,
and it's just like, yep, I've said what's going to happen. A bit like, I feel like you could have handled that a lot better.
Yeah.
But hey, that's very much what he's like, and very much what the Dark Angels are sort of like now. I have been for a long time. Looking at you, Asmodai.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they've got a bunch of successive chapters, but none of them are nearly as popular as the Dark Angels themselves.
Yeah.
It's not like the other chapters where a lot of their successive chapters have their own like massive pages on websites and have their own like lore channels that are dedicated to them.
Yeah.
They do separate their the chapter into it rather than it being companies, they're wings, aren't they?
Yes, they are wings instead of oh god, I can't even remember what it is. I don't play Space Marines. I have
It's com-
Vectorum. I don't have companies. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, it's companies. Yeah,
I have Vectorum. Yes. So they've got I believe it's the Green Wing.
yeah. The green wing
Um,
for the literally everyone that's under the like second company. So the green wing is set out into companies.
yeah, but that is basically just Battle Brothers. That's just
Yeah,
Space Marines. Your normal standard line, box trained infantry. Then you have God, you have the
the
Death Wing,
the Death
the
Wing are
Death
the first company. Yeah,
a first company, which are heavy Terminators.
yeah. They literally, if you're playing the Death Wing, you only run Terminators. Yeah,
Yep, they're pretty cool. I really like Terminators.
and then
Um,
the second company is the Raven Wing, which wear all black and go around on bikes all the time. Well,
yeah, it's really weird to me that they're all different color palettes.
yeah, you got the Green Wing, you got the Raven Wing are all black, and then the Death
Definitely
Wing
all
that are
white, aren't they?
they're well bone, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just really, yeah, they're bone white. Yeah, it's just a weird sort of how they're divided. But it works for them, I guess.
yeah.
They were
They,
ridiculous at the end of ninth
oh yeah,
when their codex came out. Dumb as hell, giving everybody a 4-up in one.
yeah.
No, it was a 4-up. Four. He couldn't be wounded on a 4-up.
Philippine, right?
No, it was transhuman. Every model had transhuman.
Oh
You
yeah,
could only be wounded on a 4-up, so no one, nothing. Like the heaviest, you could have a fucking, um, literally a Titan fire a volcano cannon at you, and if you rolled a 3, if you didn't roll, yeah, if you rolled a 3 on the volcano cannon to wound, or a 2 or a 1, it just didn't hurt anyone.
all right.
It was stupid. That on top of, and then everyone would obviously run Deathwing because then you have a 4-up invulnerable.
Yeah,
So they have to wound you on a 4-up. So they've got only everyone has a 50% chance to hit you, to wound you. And then you've got a 2-up armor and a 4-up invul. It was
nice.
insanely tanky. It
Yeah,
was to the point of being absolutely dumb. I know that. I know the lion has been absolutely nerfed to the ground. He's not worth taking anymore.
so
Unfortunately, so oh god, GW, the balance of 10th has been just
apparently Rebute is actually quite good, but not as good
Remoter's not bad.
as Marnius Calgar.
No, yeah, Calgar's good. Mortarian's honestly, I don't think Mortarian's that great. The Lion I don't think is that great. Angron's really good. Angon's good, but
But
that's about
Angron's
it.
good
He's the
because you
only
can bring him
like
back.
yeah, basically. There are ways to up your chance of bringing him back as well.
Yeah,
It's not that crazy, and he comes back in Deep Strike. He is tanky as hell. I think he does. Does he do a d6 plus 3 with his sword? He can get like 9 attacks or something stupid. Then he re-rolls hits. He is an absolute melee beast, and he will rip through pretty much anything on the board.
yeah,
And he takes a lot to kill. And he
yeah.
can have a 6-up feel no pain depending on what buff you want to give him.
And I'm guessing Magnus isn't great because they've taken away all of his magic powers.
I don't know about Magnus. I don't think he's doing well. I don't know what Magnus does now I think about it. God, I've got to look this up now. I forgot about Magnus in 10th. Because I haven't come across any Thousand Suns players. But I don't think anyone runs him.
I
That'd be
can't
super
imagine that they
interesting.
would. It,
No,
it's a lot of points for,
something that doesn't do a lot.
especially after, well, the changes they made in 10th.
T11, 16 wounds. Standard prime off staff, 4 up in Von. Okay. Gaze of Magnus is pretty good. His weapon. It's 24-inch D3+3, 2 up with a 9 up strength, -2 flat 3, but it has dev wounds, which is quite good.
Yeah.
His other one is a Firestorm, which is a slightly weaker one. But you can fire both. Yeah, his range weapons in Monster. Yeah, you can fire both.
Yeah.
Which is like a D3, D3+6, D6+3. Sorry, God. Strength 5, -1 flat 2, but it's blast, so that's more for Space Marines. Blade of Magnus. Blade of Magnus also has devastating. Wow. Why is Magnus better than Mortarion in melee?
Because Magnus is taller.
That is, well, Magnus is technically any height he wants to be.
That also, he was taller than all the rest of the Primarchs before the beginning of Demon.
Was he taller than Vulcan?
He was the tallest, yeah.
Jesus, okay. Yeah,
Unless Alpharius and Amegon were on each other's shoulders.
That's depressing. The fucking nerd is more of a melee champ than. God damn it.
You know the reason why, though? It's because he was a Star Wars nerd and knew that he needed to have the high ground.
Oh, okay. It's not about arousal. Oh, he has a Crimson King or like all the plant. Okay. Then he gets. Okay, any psychic attacks, add 1 to the hit roll and 1 to the rune roll. Okay, cool. And then he has Crimson King, which he can choose one of these. Each time an attack is made against this Psyker, subtract 1. Each time an attack is made against this Psyker, excluding Psychic attacks, subtract 1 from the. Oh, he can give himself -1 damage.
Huh.
Why, he's just. Why is he tankier than Mortar? God damn it. Well, God fucking damn it.
Because Tzeentch is just the best god, let's be honest.
You can choose enemy units within 24 inches and visible to this Psyker until the end of the phase. All ranged weapons equipped by that model have the hazardous ability. That's insane.
So what you're saying is that he's actually quite good.
Yeah. While a friendly Thousand Suns unit is within 6 inches of this Psyker, add 2 to the movement characteristic. And then he can buff the movement of his troops. Yeah, what? Okay. Alright. Cool. How much is he? Okay, never mind. I see why he's not played.
Big points in that.
Yeah, try a quarter of your entire army.
So 500 points if you're in a
He's
2,000 point game.
He's 440 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not worth sinking all that into one model.
No.
I can see why he's not played. Yeah, he seems cool, but no.
Let's be honest. These big centerpiece models usually are the things that people target first.
Yeah, there's a lot of across-the-board anti-tank these days, which is why I really struggle with Deathguard, because I just get, especially with the strength increasing, is really I feel like damaged my tankiness, because my tankiness was all mostly really tanky infantry, which is sort of just made it obsolete, because I get hit by so many strength 6. I'm toughness 5, so I get 1 extra toughness than normal Space Marines, but everyone's got strength 6 or 8 weapons these days. And he's like, well, they're not anti-tank weapons. I'm like, yeah, but they still just put me back to being wounded on 3s all the time, or the amount of dev wounds that are in the game. I'm just okay, there's a problem. But hey ho, Dark Angels.
That's pretty much all we can talk about the Dark Angels, because whilst we do have some of the Horus Heresy stuff that we could go into, we are in 40k now. The only other thing is that they are central to the plot of the Arcs of Omen, because it's Caliban being reborn as Wormwood.
Yes, which is super interesting, because it's, if I believe right, doesn't he sort of take Caliban into a Chaos Webway sort of thing? He can teleport it around, can't he?
So
Or
keys.
does he take it into the actual webway?
Basically, the key is actually a trio of what was it? Eight golden age artifacts.
Hmm.
One being the Ouroboros, which is a sort of chaos worm thing, which lives in Caliban. That's why he had to rebuild Caliban.
Okay.
One being the Tuchalka engine, which he stole from the Rock.
Oh yeah.
And one being this other thing that I can't remember the name of, but it was something else that the Dark Angels had interacted with. And all three of those together create the key, and now he has to find the lock.
Okay.
And basically, with those three together, he can enter the webway from anywhere. He doesn't need to go to a webway gate.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy.
He can literally drill holes in the webway.
Yeah, without actually damaging the webway, which is again sort of crazy.
Yeah.
That he can just dip in there. And the webway is a super fast way to travel. Although I guess you don't have to worry too much about traveling the warp if you're Vashtor.
Oh yeah, because you're a demon.
Yeah, well, there's some things in there that'll still take a bite at you. Not
But
everybody's safe, but
he's
got a much better chance.
He's powerful enough that most other demons won't try to take a bite out of him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's that big enough presence in the warp that they will go to him for bargains rather than for
For a meal.
yeah.
There are easier meals than Vashtor out there.
Yes.
Unless you're playing tabletop, where you can instantly shoot him off the board easily.
Yeah. It's like I want to get Vashtor because it's a really cool model, but then I'll feel obliged to play him and I will lose.
Wait for the codex. Just wait for the codex and see.
I can already lose without him, so why do I need him to lose?
Yes. Yeah, it's so unfortunate. Hopefully they do something with him. I assume they are going to change him since they didn't do anything on the data slate. So when the codex comes out, that's what the points they want him around.
Yeah.
So, yeah, meh, not fantastic, but I get it. I mean, could be worse. Could be Admech.
Yeah. Let's move on to our next topic then of the Blood Angels.
Ooh. Now, Blood Angels, you probably know a lot more than I do. Because I don't know too much about Blood Angels.
I know a few bits, I know the one thing that everyone knows, which is that the fabulous Hawk Boy is dead.
Oh, fabulous Hawk Boy. Most fabulous boy in all of Hawkiness. Yes, he got his absolute ass handed to him by Horus. To be fair, he was pretty tired. He had fought out off I believe, a Demon Prince. Or a Bloodletter, I can't remember.
It was a Bloodthirster.
Bloodthirster.
Oh yeah, specifically Kabanda.
Yeah. Again. Kabanda, yes. Again.
I do believe he also fought Angron.
Oh, did he? He fought Angron and Kabanda? And then tried to fight Horus?
Yes. Well, obviously, so Angron and Kabanda, I think, at once. And then a few, I say days, but it was all one night at that point because of Horus's magic. But he then, several days later, fought Horus.
Yeah. He was going for the three-peat. Nope. He was going for the hat-trick. Absolutely denied. Dead as a doorpost. So...
At least he didn't have to fight Samus. I am the end of the death.
That's true. That's true. And he still seemingly has a psychic presence, so he's still sort of... His soul is obviously in the warp. And I know he's talked to good old... what's his name? Oldest Space Marine.
Dante.
I kept thinking Mephiston, but no. Good old Dante. Good old I don't want to live anymore. this universe is absolutely horrible, and I've had to live the longest.
Please let me rest, Daddy. Why can't you let me go to sleep?
Because you're the only one that gets summoned done!
I'm sorry, son, but as you're the only person I can trust to actually give a shit, you have to carry on living.
Yeah.
It's like the joke being that when Primaris was rolled out, he was one of the first people to volunteer for it, and everyone was like, "No, it's really dangerous." He's like, "No, yeah, let me do it."
Just like, let someone else go that we don't care about. Let a random marine do it. No! He's just screaming. Please! Just the most suicidal.
I think the first marine to get Primaris was actually Mephiston himself, because he was getting too powerful with the warp that he was actually burning himself out, and so they put him to sleep until they could revive him somehow, and then they turned him into a Primaris Marine. Now his body is powerful enough to withstand his psychic might.
Well, yeah. I mean, is he... Mephiston's the one that's come back from the Black Rage twice, yeah?
He has experienced a Black Rage twice. Once
we're through a psychic incursion into someone else's mind, wasn't it?
Yes.
I was going through it, yeah.
And then the second time he went through it himself and came out of it.
Yes, and now he's gone through the... Is it the Rubicon?
Yeah, he's gone through the Rubicon.
That's the transformation into a Primaris. Now, so he should be a lot calmer, considering it's supposed to be safer on the old gene seed. I don't know if it is, though. I don't know if they're still having some Black Rage problems.
So, it was originally announced that they were going to be immune to the Black Rage, but that was something that Belisarius Krul said. Then later on, they found out that was a lie. That's why you can get Death Company intercessors and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just fair. I think it was because it was originally supposed to be they were going to go down this route of Primaris and First Company, well, Firstborn, because they had said, if I remember rightly, I can't remember where I was going with this now. Sorry, I'm ill, so brains all over the place. They had originally said that crossing the Rubicon was extremely dangerous and had like a 50% or more chance of just dying. So it was only going to be like certain people to go through it. And they basically just scrapped that idea and have moved on to just everyone's a Primaris now. Everyone's getting across the Rubicon. It's actually a lot safer than it is, just because they can't be bothered to do 2 ranges.
I think what it was more was that in the beginning, when they were doing the lore, I know that in the beginning when they were doing the lore, it had been 112 years since the Primaris first came out, and then they retconned that to being 12. But in the beginning, the crossing of the Rubicon was dangerous because very few people had done it before. Like, obviously, Belisarius Krul had done it to all of the Horus Heresy Marines who were injured, and he'd turned into Primaris Marines to train the newly formed ones that he made.
Yes,
But obviously, Belisarius Krul is supposed to be a genius in everything, because he has soul bonded with all the other geniuses of all the other fields.
Okay.
Hence why he's able to make the Primaris and all of their weapons and hover jets and an AI that isn't an AI and another AI that is definitely aware that it's an AI, but he's still going to claim it isn't an AI.
I love it. Who's also advocating for him to be Fabricator General, even though Core himself has said, I don't want to be Fabricator General because that'll cause a load of issues. The AI is like, nah, you should definitely put my boy in charge.
I genuinely think the AI is actually the one that wants to be in charge.
Yeah, it seems a little suspect. Are you an AI? No, definitely not. No, I'm. This is just. These are pre-written, these are pre-written voice lines. You're like,
these are pre-written responses to any question that you might have. Uh, okay. How are you able to predict the questions that I have if there's no data up until the moment that I get the data to ask the question? I was like,
And I think his response was Belisarius Cool is a genius and
yes,
pre knows, so don't worry about it. Like he knows even if you don't. And it's like we're talking about like the warp, and there's no certainty with the warp. Like,
yeah.
how do you have like pre-gamed questions for it? Oh, it's great. I fucking
But
love
yeah,
it.
so if it was done by Belisarius Cool all the time, then everyone would survive. But
Yes.
obviously, Belisarius Cool can't be in 1,000 different chapters at once.
Apparently you can, because everyone's crossing the Rubicon
But
Primaris.
yeah, but I think that what it was the case was in the beginning it was dangerous because these people didn't have the experience to do it. But over time, the
And now, yeah,
experience
now it's changed.
is now like the safest thing ever, basically. I mean,
Yeah, fair enough.
they're using it now for people who are so badly injured that they can't put them into a dreadnought, so they're making them cross the Rubicon Primaris to bring them back to life.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
that's fair.
in fact, actually, that's a Dark Angels character, Captain Lazarus, which I think is a bit on the nose
Yeah, I was gonna say Lazarus. They've always been on really on the nose
with
with
their
that sort of
names.
stuff, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Mephiston literally being a vampire,
Yep. Yep.
Dante going through
Dante.
hell
Yep.
constantly.
Yeah. Like I just look at my product, Mortarion. Is he somehow to do with? Oh, he's somehow to do with death. Okay, cool. Oh,
Yeah,
he's zombie boy. Okay.
yeah. Perturabo is slightly perturbed all the time.
Yeah, true.
Sanguinius being, well, to be fair, Sanguinius doesn't come
He's a
across as a
vampire.
vampire, but he is a vampire.
Yeah.
He, he he's one of those pretty boy vampires, like Dracula.
Oh, God, the twilights. He
To
twinkles
be fair, he
in
does sparkle.
sunlight. He
He
does
does.
sparkle. Yeah. Oh no, he's Edward Cullen. No. Okay. Fair enough.
uh, yeah. Obviously, the Blood Angels also have a number of very famous um, successor chapters. One of which being the Flesh Terrors with Gabriel Seth.
Yep. Flesh Terrors, the one chapter that was really not happy with Primaris Marines.
They're gonna turn us into Ultramarines that wear red.
Basically,
Literal
yep.
quote. Literal quote.
Was not happy. He said that to Dante of all people as well.
Yeah.
He's like, you can fucking keep him. I don't want him.
To be fair to Gabriel Seth and Dante, they do respect each other a lot because they have fought together on many occasions.
Yes.
Considering
Yeah.
that Dante is basically his spiritual liege as well as his, quite frankly, literal one as well. Dante is basically the embodiment of Sanguinius in the Blood Angels when the Sanguinor is not about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, have you heard the rumor about the uh, Blood Angels refresh that's going to happen?
No.
So the two characters that they're going to get are Lemartz and Astaroth the Grim,
Okay.
and it's going to be the box set that they're going to come in is going to be a Death Company box set. So you're going to get a Brutalis Dreadnought, Death Company Intercessors, and those two.
Yeah, to be fair, the old Death Company Dreadnought is still the old Boxnaught.
Yeah.
So, I can imagine that's going to get phased out pretty quick, since I think all the other Boxnaught are now Legends and stuff, aren't they? I think it's the only one that's not Legend.
Yeah. I mean, you can still run them, but you have to run them as one of the Primaris one now.
Yeah, but you can still use the old model. because I think they don't have a new model for it.
Yeah, I know that like for the ballistas dreadnought, they will allow you to use an old box knot with a las cannon and missiles. You just need to put enough corkboard on your base so that they're the same height and have the same width of base as well.
Yeah, as long as you're same weight with a base, you're generally all right.
Yeah.
Same with most things.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. The old box knots are classic, but
Yeah, they
they're
are. I
not.
really like them.
I do really like them, but I do prefer the Horus Heresy dreadnoughts as well.
Yeah, what like the Contemptor and all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
the Contemptor. I mean,
I really like the Contemptor.
I even really like the Dorito, the Dorito.
Oh yeah, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's a good design. Yeah, I do quite like.
Yeah, yeah, and then the uh, Lamenters are another well-known Blood Angels successor
Oh, the
chapter.
Lamenters are Blood Angels.
Yes.
As if their lore couldn't get any more heart-wrenching.
Okay. Also, they've recently come up with a short story that has them as the main characters. And do you want to guess something that's happened to them?
They almost all got wiped out.
I mean, yeah, but you know that's nothing new. This is some new lore for them.
They have the Red Thirst and Black Rage.
They had that already.
They did have that already. They got Primaris reinforcements.
Yes, but it's very slow to get to them.
Oh, they're not even got there yet.
Their Primaris reinforcements arrive at the end of the short story.
Oh, so that all the firstborn are almost completely dead again, and then they finally get reinforcements. Okay, cool.
Actually, no. No, these characters are firstborn that have been turned into Primaris, but they still haven't actually received their a lot of their actual Primaris.
God damn it.
So
Oh,
they do have Primaris Space Marines, but they are people that have crossed
they're
the
force
Rubicon.
convert, yeah.
Yeah. What's happened is that they have finally finished their penitent crusade.
That's finally over. Jesus, someone finally gave them a break.
Yeah, they finally finished their penitent crusade and
Well,
then almost got
hold on.
eaten
Let's
by
not
the
go that.
Tyranids again.
Yeah, let's not go that far. Like they're still going to be absolutely slapped around, but at least they don't have to regain their honor. They just have to cope with the fact they're going to die in the thousands.
Yeah. The short story has a Primaris sniper uh, trying to return to the what is it, the fallback point for the planet, because like the whole planet is being consumed by the Tyranids.
Oh, okay.
And he comes across the Tyranid Prime that's in charge of the invasion, and it's attacking a squad of intercessors, and they're not having a good time, and he's trying to line up a shot, but he can't get a clean shot because the intercessors are in the way. So he has to just watch them die. Then he comes across a massive pile of dead Tyranids, and he digs through it and finds a intercessor sergeant who is very badly injured but is still alive.
Oh, good. Throw him a dreadnought.
But he's alive enough to be able to walk and fight, so.
Oh, okay. It's not that bad to be thrown. Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's not quite at that point, but he is also, one of his wounds isn't closing, so he is going to die.
Okay.
So
throw him in a dreadnought.
Yeah, throw him in a dreadnought. If only they could, because they have they're literally so far behind enemy lines that they're having to walk back.
Damn, Lamenters, man.
So they get close enough to the fallback point, and they see the Tyranid Prime again. And so the sergeant, who knows he's going to die, goes, I'm going to make a distraction, takes all of the explosives that he can find, and goes and makes a really big boom, and goes to pull the Prime's bodyguards away. So the Prime's there all on his own, and the sniper's there, like, lining up a shot, gets ready, and click.
It's out of ammo.
He has one shot, but the gun malfunctions.
Oh no, really?
So now that sergeant, who is already very badly injured and is already dying, now having to fight even harder, whilst this sniper has to disassemble his gun and reassemble it, and then he finally gets the shot off. He runs over there, and like, both of them are so badly injured after fighting all their way through that point that they both die on the spot. And as they're dying, you just see like the drop pods of all of the Primaris reinforcements turning up.
Oh, such a kick in the teeth. That's so lamentous.
Yeah.
Oh god. Just pure depression.
Yeah.
That's 40k for you.
That is 40k.
There's not many happy endings in 40k.
There are not, no. There's a few different successor chapters for the Blood Angels, though. There's the Knights of Blood, who were considered to be monsters by even the Blood Angels.
Okay.
And yet they still died for Baal.
Yeah, they lost a lot of chapters on the what's it called? The Siege of Baal or whatever.
Yeah, the Desolation of Baal.
That's the Desolation. A lot of loyal chapters.
To be fair, everyone thought that the Knights of Blood were not going to be loyal, and then they, came back and helped the Blood Angels.
Well, I think everyone's loyal in a Tyranid invasion.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's like, help these guys I don't like, or get eaten by Tyranids. I'll just help the guys.
To be fair, the Demons of Khorne were also loyal for that battle.
Well, they fought the Tyranids as well.
Yeah, the Baal Secundus has gone to the Chaos.
Holy shit! Okay, well that's. I mean, it's already an awful place. Like,
yeah. So Baal Secundus is the moon to Baal, the planet. Yeah.
Baal Primus.
The Bloodletters and Bloodthirsters of Khorne killed so many. So many Tyranids that they were able to take the corpses and make a visible icon of Khorne from Baal.
Oh, so you can look up to the moon and see.
You can see Khorne's
the corpses.
That's just from Tyranid corpses, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, the demons are definitely winning. Chaos is definitely winning 10th edition.
Yeah.
In the lore, which is quite good. The bad guys need to be dangerous. They haven't been for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, it took him 13 Crusades to get there, but well done. You finally got it.
You're joining me on this thing of, 13 Crusades is a lot.
It is, yeah, it is a lot.
I love how they retcon that to be like, oh, he didn't fail 12 times. He succeeded in very specific objectives, rather than, he failed 12 times and then the 13th time. Unlucky for some, not for Chaos.
Yeah. It's like, okay. Yeah, just GW's writing.
Like I said,
it is what it is.
They're the people who write the small lore bits, and that the people that are in charge of the lore at Games Workshop are very lazy writers, but they have the rest of the Black Library stuff to fall back on.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, the reason that we talked about the Blood Angel second is because that's going to be the parent chapter of Cat's Space Marines.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, she's going for Blood
Okay.
Angels. It does make sense for Blood Angels to be looking for Dark Angels stuff. Well, they wouldn't necessarily be looking for it, but they would know that stuff like this is important because of the Arcs of Omen, because the Lion and the Blood Angels were working together.
Okay.
Basically, the Blood Angels found the Lion and the Risen,
Yes.
and then they took him to help save the Dark Angels who had attacked Wormwood because
Yeah,
Vashtor
because
stole something from them and they wanted to get it back. And they
unfortunately our boy Dante gets 5 seconds of screen time where he gets instantly backhanded by Agron and almost dies. He's just like, oh my boy, you gotta catch a break. At least kill him. Like,
I wonder if he got another vision from Sanguinius. He went, "Shh, get back in your body."
no, it's just the spirit's coming out. It's just like, no, back in there, shoving his leg down. Can't come out yet. Another 1,000 years.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we're gonna talk about the force that Cat's gonna be running. So, Cat, would you like to take it from here?
I will first of all say it's definitely a work in progress because I'm still building. But we sort of came
We're
up with the name.
always all still building.
Yeah, I'm probably about 10% of the way there compared to you two, because I'm literally still building half of my stuff. We called mine the Angels of the Phoenix.
Okay, it's pretty fitting.
Yeah. At the moment, got the chaplain, who official name is, I can never pronounce these properly, Dominus Antiel.
Anatiel, yeah.
Anatiel, who I've nicknamed Blackadder.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with that theme for them. I seem to nickname all my little characters. So yeah, we're going with the Blackadder theme on this one. I've also got the librarian, which is
Iskiel Furia.
Iskiel Furia. I can never pronounce half these. Who I've nicknamed Baldric because he's like
Okay.
second. My dreadnought is Aziriel
Zariel and Trazo.
Who I've nicknamed Bob.
Bob is a good name for a dreadnought, let's be honest.
That was after the character who's a woman who dresses like a bloke.
Yeah, Sarah.
So I'm Blackadder, and yeah, so he's nicknamed Bob. I've also got two intercessor squads.
Yeah.
The first one I've nicknamed the Melchet, and the second one I've nicknamed the Percys.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then we've also got Incursors, Aggressors, Inceptors, the Bladeguard veterans, and the Impulsors.
So we've just bought the Bladeguard veterans today.
Yeah.
They're in the post.
I will actually give them nicknames as well, but the nicknames we came up with yesterday. And I've run with it, so they will each get their own nicknames. But yeah, we sort of started painting them and decorating them.
So we've primed up a lot of the stuff that Cat has built so far.
Yeah.
Priming them in black. Mine are being primed in lead belcher, obviously.
Yes.
Oh, I've also got the vehicle as well, haven't I?
Yeah, that's the Impulsor.
Oh, it's the Impulsor. Oh, I've nicknamed that one Nursey.
That's Nursey. No
That's
Queenie.
Nursey. I haven't got Queenie yet. I will probably end up with a Queenie somewhere, but yeah I quite liked the Impulsor as being the Nursey.
Yeah, another vehicle. You've got to call it the Regent.
No, I still like Nursey. I was debating with Queenie, but I don't know. I thought Nursey was...
if we get you an Impulsor Executioner, maybe that should be a Queen.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
Good
all
old,
as
yeah, got
far
flash
as I've
heart as
got.
well.
Yeah, that's as far as I've got at the moment.
Yeah. We still got to build the incursors. Yeah, I think everything else is built. Oh, the incursors, we still need to wait for the Blade Guard veterans to turn up.
Yeah.
And get them built. And then I will prime the other squad of intercessors, the impulsor, and the incursors and Blade Guard veteran at some point. But we are going for a purple and gold color scheme, aren't we?
So purpley mauve
Yeah.
colour.
Oh, okay.
My favourite colour is purple, which is probably why I more went towards that. But I wanted more red because of the Blood Angel side of it. So that's why I'm going more sort of mauve purple.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. That sounds good.
Obviously, Cat is entirely new to the main 40k game. She played Kill Team, obviously, before people have been following our series. We made this list based on the fact that it was two different combat patrols put together. One of which is no longer the combat patrol that that faction has.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because one of the combat patrols was the Dark Angels combat patrol. And obviously, since the Dark Angels have got their new codex, they've got a new combat patrol.
Okay.
That's one of the things they've been doing with the new codexes as well. Like each new codex comes out, they're getting a new combat patrol.
Yes, because combat patrols are its own sort of game thing now.
Yeah.
Sort of, they're 40k. They're just you can fight in whole. They sort of balance them to be whole. One combat patrol against another.
Yeah. But I think the reason that they've changed them to what they are now as well is because a lot of them came with like vehicles, but then none of them came with anything to destroy the vehicle with.
Yeah, there was no anti-vehicle in them whatsoever.
Yeah, so you got like the Dark Angels one that had the Dreadnought in it, and the Blood Angels one which has the Impulsor in it. And honestly, neither of those two are particularly balanced against each other.
Plus, I don't think what's the Deathguard one? I don't even think the Deathguard has vehicles in it.
The Deathguard one had
it's Plague Marines and
all Poxwalkers.
Yeah.
Just
if
I remember correctly, when it came out, it wasn't legal for them to actually run because there was too many Poxwalkers for the amount.
You're right. Yeah, you had to have the amount of Poxwalkers to Plague Marines.
Yeah, and you had 7 Plague Marines and Typhus, and then
so
all Poxwalkers.
Yeah, it's not that great. It's just... Is that it? It's just 7 Plague Marines and Typhus and then a bunch of Poxwalkers?
Yes. There might have been something else in there, but I think it was that because from what I've understood, like all of the...
I think in 10th you can run however many Poxwalkers you want now.
You can run up to 60.
60, yeah.
You can take 3 units of 20.
But you're not limited to Plague Marines.
Yeah.
Although I think if you picked,
I think it would be difficult for you to get 60 Plague Marines and 60.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. You could you do it? You could do it, but it would be maxing out all your Plague Marines. Like that's the max you can take of Plague Marines.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to take all those Poxwalkers as well. But I believe in Ninth, though, when it was a rule, you could, if you wanted a load of zombies, you'd take the Terminus Est, which was Typhus's detachment, which got rid of the Poxwalker rule.
Okay.
Because it was all about zombies. because
Yeah.
that's what Typhus's whole shtick is. He loves to make zombies
Yeah.
out of populations. So I mean, he had some pretty cool stratagems as well. Like there was mutant strain where you get mortal wounds on 6s, but you'd get mortal wounds back to poxwalkers on 1s. But then he would allow you to re-roll hits, so it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I think you could deep strike them as well, like have zombies coming out of like the ground or floorboards or stuff. It's quite interesting.
But yeah, so we got the 2 combat patrols, and then we needed to fill out the points. So with the new Munitorum field manual out as well, Cat's Crusade force actually comes out to be 5 points under. So she's at 995 currently.
Ooh, okay.
And I did look for something to replace the Blade Guard veterans with. That's an extra 5 points, but none of them seem to be. But there was only like 2 choices, and neither of them seemed to be particularly interesting. Meanwhile, Blade Guard veterans would pair very well with the chaplain.
Yes. Oh yeah, I'm under by 20 points on my list. Interesting. Do I?
Yeah, I think I got the best out of all of us for the points reductions. Like I said, I'm like 30 points under now.
Yeah, I probably could
35.
make 1,000. I could give it enhancement, but I think I want to set because if you put enhancements, I'm assuming in Crusade they're permanent to that character.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, like Relics used to be.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to sneeze there.
That's
I was just like, oh god. Yeah. So seems like a pretty good list. Have you made sure you can make like a 500 points list out of it pretty easily?
Oh, pretty easily. Oh, I mean, we can just run one of the kill teams on its own, which probably comes out to be less than 500 points. Kill teams. Combat patrols on its own, but we could also run it with the combat patrol rules, which is used to how they did it with the rules for the combat patrols was that the combat patrol itself got boosts based on how far behind in points it was.
Okay.
So Dark Angels combat patrol, which I think was like 45 points under when last time I checked.
Yeah.
That there were rules that were in the combat patrol rules for that combat patrol that made them better in certain ways.
Yeah, they got like special rules in case they weren't doing well, sort of thing.
Yeah. And then same with the Blood Angels one, which I don't know off the top of my head. But yeah, we could do that, or I can go through and have a look.
Okay. As long as I think I've got around 500. Mine fits into 500 pretty well, I think. Does it match? Yeah, I've got exactly 500 points for our first games.
Yeah.
It's mostly just take infantry, to be honest, in the first games. 500 points wise. Otherwise, you run like one tank.
Yeah. It's like looking at the points for all the things on Cat's army, and like the Redempted Dreadnought would be half of 500 points, which is 210.
Yeah, so if that one tank's gone, that's it. It gives a lot of firepower. It's going to be hard for infantry to deal with, but once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, I'm just having a look now because I probably could do a 500 point list from this if I have a look at it now. Quite easily, but again, if I go for what the actual 500 point list would be, so that would be that, that, and that. I think it actually might come out to over 500 points. Where's my pen? There.
Have you not got the app?
I do have the app, but I've got her list up on the app and I'm not deleting things just to get the points and then putting them back on. So 210 plus 130 plus 80 plus 60.
480.
No, it's 20 points short now.
Oh, okay.
It used to be 45 points short.
Oh, so they've increased your points.
They've increased. I think it purely is the Redemptor Dreadnought that's been increased in
Yeah,
points.
it's been nerfed. Yeah, it's fair enough. I'm pretty sure Dreadnought's pretty good.
Yeah. Is
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So your chapter, something of the Phoenix, is it?
the Angels of the Phoenix.
Angels of the Phoenix. So they're coming to the the Scourge Stars for what now? For the Dark Angels, trying to help the Dark Angels out.
Actually, they're coming for a different reason.
Okay.
Being that the whole point of their part is the retribution against the Deathguard for the Plague Wars. They're helping the Ultramarines out, actually.
Oh, helping the blueberries.
Helping the blueberries. I mean, however much I like to hate on the blueberries, they do have the best games at the moment. Space Marine and Bolt Gun.
Oh, Bolt Gun's really good. Yeah, I'll give you that.
And Space Marine 2 is supposed to be coming out at some point this year.
I don't know if it's been announced yet.
I'm going to lose so much time of my life on that game.
Yeah, especially if the multiplayer is as good as the old one was. The multiplayer in the old one was really good.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, it was so good. Yeah, if that comes out, I'm also losing hours. I think a lot of the community will, to be fair.
Yeah. Co-op?
Does it do co-op?
Yeah, they've got a co-op in Space Marine 2.
Oh, damn, okay.
I think it's cool. 3-player co-op. It might be 4.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And one of the playable characters apparently is a very Leandros type character.
I hope we get to punch Leandros in the fucking head. I hope. Like,
I kind of hope that he's already dead, but he died in a way that's like disrespectful to the chapter, so nobody really talks about him.
No, I hope he's still alive so we can see him die like a little bitch.
Yeah,
I want to see the man get turned to a chaos spawn by being overloaded by 1,000 sun magic. That'd be pretty cool.
I kind of want the Black Legion to turn up just so that a Master of Possessions could come up and hit him with his staff.
Just rip his soul out of his body.
Yeah.
It would be good. Fuck that guy. Fuck Leandros.
But yeah,
absolute asshole.
This Leandros character is very much
for the Codex.
Yeah, for the Codex.
It'd be interesting to see how Titus is doing, considering he's been hanging out with the Black Templars. And the Black Templars are well known to wipe their ass with the Codex and throw it back in the Inquisition's face, and then murder the Inquisitor in the process.
So, apparently the lore is that, obviously, he was taken by that Inquisitor, and that Inquisitor was a very anti-Space Marine Inquisitor. so he wasn't exactly kept well, and so he was rescued by another Inquisitor, who then, because they couldn't identify which chapter he was from, he was just chucked with the Death Watch, and he's been serving with the Death Watch for...
Oh, was it Death Watch?
Yes.
Because at the end, when he gets into the Inquisitors
so that
thing, he's with Black Templars.
Yeah, that Inquisitor has Black Templars with him.
But Titus also has the chains on it, which are Black Templar.
Yes. But he, like I said, he was taken by that Inquisitor. That Inquisitor then locked him away because, oh, you might be tainted by the warp. I'm still putting money on Titus being a blank.
Yeah, being a pariah would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah,
especially if the Thousand Suns set up, he's like, nope, don't affect me, bitch.
That would be hilarious. But yeah, the Inquisitor that locked him away, then another Inquisitor found out that this Inquisitor was a bit of a heretic.
Mm.
And so the second Inquisitor killed the first Inquisitor, took Titus. Titus was in a position where he couldn't really say, I'm an Ultramarine, so he was put into the Death Watch as a Black Shield. Titus also thought that because he was not saved by the Ultramarines, that he was being punished by the Ultramarines, so he didn't admit to being an Ultramarine. And then actually during the current law but it makes sense that it's during current law that it happened. He was on a Death Watch mission, got really badly injured, had amnesia and that, and the Ultramarines saved him. Then they did a check on his genetic code.
Yeah.
And found out that he was an Ultramarine, and someone went, hey, he looks like that Titus bloke. Okay, I am paraphrasing that bit because I don't know exactly how they figured out that he was Titus. But they were like,
well, people knew him. Like, I'm pretty sure Calgar even mentions him at one point.
Yeah.
In some strand of lore somewhere.
I believe it's Tigurius who figures out that it's Titus.
Oh, okay.
But then I think that's partly because he does go into Titus's mind.
Oh, okay.
So it's sort of like
to fix him.
Yeah, I went into his mind to fix him, found out who exactly he is. We should probably take him back. So you got certain people who look up to Titus because he's a legend of the chapter, and you got other people who look down on him because, why have you been a Black Shield for all this time?
Yeah, exactly. Not knowing he fist punched a demon prince to death.
Yeah,
his bare hands.
Beat a demon prince to death with his bare hands, and then closed a warp relic with his bare hands as well. Just taking full on force the warp to his helmetless face.
But didn't he ripped the thing in half, didn't he? The crystal thing that was opening the warp hole. Because the guy was using that. Memeroth, I think was the bad guy's name. He was using that. Yeah, Memeroth. God damn it, GW.
I do believe you pronounced it right, but I now will forever call him Memeroth because of the Russian badger.
I'm pretty sure it's I'm pretty sure it's Memeroth. But yeah, that crystal power unit thing is what he is giving here. It gives him Demon Prince powers.
Yeah.
Well, also the sacrificing all the citizens. But he beats him to death. Then that thing's left behind after he beats him to death. And then he grabs it and snaps it in half with his bare hands, and that's what closes the portal up. But he is then free-falling, like to a planet at the end.
Yeah.
Doesn't he get on a plane or something?
I can't remember what exactly happens, but I do know that the crystal thing that he seemed to destroy is still around because the character from Bolt Gun picks it up at the end of the Bolt Gun game.
Oh, really? I haven't finished Bolt Gun.
He's going to finish what Captain Titus started.
Yeah, I love the memes of him where it's like him on the chains, just filling about. Only let about what demons are about.
Also, my favorite thing that I've also recently found out about Space Marine 2 is that you can actually play the entire game with your helmet on.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Does someone want to tell the guy that plays Master Chief that's the thing?
Master Cheeks, you mean?
Yeah, Master Cheeks. Oh, God. How can they make... I have yet to watch the Fallout thing, but I've heard it's really good. How can they make really one good franchise that's really good and actually dedicated to the lore and all that, and then they make Halo like that?
That's because Halo is done by Paramount and Fallout is done by Amazon.
Yeah, but Amazon's also done some shit in the past.
Oh, no, yeah, Amazon's done some shit in the past. I don't think anyone's going to forgive them for Rings of Power anytime soon.
Oh, I forgot that was Amazon. I didn't watch it. I didn't know how bad it was. I heard it was bad, but...
I've heard bad things as well, but I think the main thing was that people were saying it was bad because some of the elves were black, and I don't see that as being a thing that makes a series bad.
No, it's like the female custodians things. It's not like a big deal. It's just fucking lazy.
Yeah,
it's just like if you want diversity, that's fine, but at least put some effort into, like, especially in I think we've had this discussion before where, like, you had the Hadradim, you have like the Easterlings, you have the other cultures of humans in Lord of the Rings setting. You could have absolutely made them more interesting and brought them into the lore as well.
Yeah.
Instead of just making Asian and black elves, people elves. It's it is what it is. I'm not I wouldn't hate on a series for that. I think I've heard it's just poor writing in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really a nothing burger on that one. It's just lazy.
There's a lot of things that it's just lazy writing in a lot of things.
Exactly. It feels like more and more these days.
I've heard a lot of people complaining about the Fallout series for being very what's the term woke, but I've watched it twice now. Kat's watched it once, and I can't see any of the woke stuff that people are talking about. The only woke thing, air quotes there, we don't do the video, so it's kind of difficult to point out that when I'm being sarcastic. The only woke thing that they do in it is having a female protagonist, and it's not like she's a Mary Sue. She fails all the time.
Exactly. Like, it's not woke just because you have a female. Okay, and this is another thing that annoys me when people go on about, like, Rey's a big one from Star Wars and things. They're like, no one likes it because it's a female lead. No, we don't like it because it's shit storytelling. You know what I loved? Arcane. That had the fucking best lead ever. Vi was, like, fucking amazing. Caitlin, all the female characters were so well written and so well, like, dialogued, and, like, their story was great. Loved it. That's what it should be, not just fucking insert this. I mean, the writing of Star Wars was dog shit from day one anyway. But, like, just... It's fine to have inclusion, just make the fucking effort. Like, just write a good story, that's all I'm asking. Like, I don't give a shit what race or gender the main character is, as long as they're well written.
Yeah. That's the thing. Also, like, carrying on this tangent of Star Wars, like, The Force Awakens could have been considered a great movie if they did the next two movies following the obvious plot points that were left in the first one. But
yeah, I don't know. I still felt I didn't mind the first one, The Force Awakens. It just felt samey. Like it didn't feel like there was. It felt like there were like, and I think South Park did it best with fucking was it member berries.
yeah,
But yeah, there's no like uniqueness to it. I don't think. But yeah, I think it would have been a lot better if there are some there's the direction of the original. I think it was the original director wanted before they replaced him. They replaced him because his trilogy was going to be. He had the trilogy mapped out, but it was going to be really dark, well, a lot darker than they wanted it, and they wanted it to be more family friendly, so they get younger audiences and things because it's now Disney.
Yeah,
and they throw it all out, and like, but you're like the majority of the Star Wars fan base is older.
Yeah.
And plus, even the kids shows that they have, like the Clone Wars, is ridiculously brutal in some of the scenes. Like, and you're like, that's and that was like the Clone Wars is really dark. Bad Batch is really dark. Rebels was pretty dark towards the end.
Yeah,
I was just like, it seemed like such a waste of potential, and then to not go into, you knew you were making a trilogy, and to just go into production on the first film and not have you don't know where you're going. And just to leave it up to the director to go, do what you want with it. Oh, by the way, you're not the same director as the one that made the first film. Like, what was that?
To be fair, with the original trilogy, whilst George Lucas was the director of all three movies, he also had a co-director in the second one.
Yeah, to be fair, which really helps George, because George is terrible at dialogue.
It's not just that, but also George is so popular and so well known that he then has a habit of accidentally getting a lot of yes men working for him. It's not that he doesn't work well with people who can stand up to him, but it's that a lot of people just wouldn't. So these
okay,
that's
interesting.
Co-director that he had was there to curb some of the more batshit things that he would do.
That's fair enough, yeah.
And obviously then later on, when he didn't have co-directors, he would do things like Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, he did need to.
Although, to be fair, Clone Wars did rescue Jar Jar Binks from just being a comedic relief character and gave him an actual storyline. And then the Revenge of the Sith made him be the whole reason why Palpatine was able to get away with Order 66.
Yeah, it's very tragic because I believe in a book he becomes homeless.
Yeah,
because everyone blamed him for it.
I mean, you would.
Yeah, he becomes like a jester on the streets. It's very like, okay, yeah, like. But at least George had like a vision for the trilogy. Like he'd written the thing, he knew where it was going to go.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
He had things in motion, and he had one idea.
Yeah, exactly, and he followed it. He stuck to it. He stuck to the themes. He went through it.
And yeah, okay, he did need people to curb his enthusiasm in certain areas, but as long as everything was honed in for the story that he was telling, whilst also allowing him to world build in it.
Yeah, exactly. Like Star Wars, man.
Yeah.
So good down here. Thanks, Disney. Thanks for that one.
Oh, well, can't wait for the Warhammer TV show to come out.
Yeah, I'm sure that won't suck.
Again, Amazon, who have shown now that they can do a beloved series like that.
I think it just depends on the people they've employed. I think as long as they keep the bullshit TV execs and fucking producers out of it, that fucking just try to meddle and shit, and let the directors and creators actually do the project themselves the way they want, I think it's fine. But
one of the executive producers is Henry Cavill, who has revealed himself to be a massive Warhammer fan, and
yeah,
I mean,
that's fine.
As long as we get some, Kesh bits in it, because Kesh being the female custodies who threatened to cyclonic torpedo the Emperor as part of her attempt to win the Blood Games.
Yeah, you see, the law was actually not bad. Like, the law was actually pretty fucking funny. She was trying to cyclone, and the only reason she actually failed was because the crew were like, they don't know about custodies that well, and they were like, we don't trust this, that you're taking a cyclone torpedo to the Emperor's throne room, so we're going to dob on you, we're going to tell, and that's why she was caught. And she's like,
she was caught.
Her takeaway from that was, I can't have a crew that can't trust me. So instead of replacing them, all of them I will sign their execution warrants.
No. She signed the execution warrant for the captain because the captain followed her orders blindly, and it was the Auspex operator who dobbed her in.
Oh, okay.
And so the Auspex operator got a promotion.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because the whole point of the Blood Games is to shore up the defenses of Terror.
Yeah, I was just thinking, it would have been so
funny to custodies and be like, you're doing something shady, I'm going to dob you in, is actually kind of impressive.
It kind of is. I thought it was that she was like, if I can't have people not following a custodian's order, and immediately executed them, which was like, would be peak 40k, because it's like, you're loyal to the Emperor, not to me. Like, get the fuck out of here, here's your death warrant. Yeah. Especially when they'd had, what was the thing? Oh, when the custodians showed up for, where the Tyranids were invading Terra.
Oh.
And they sent a message that was so classified that the comms officers that received the message, even though they didn't know what the message was, they just knew the like, it was like basically a code.
Yeah.
Like, because it was so secret, they only passed on the code, and for just passing on that code, that clearance was so far above them that everyone that had got that code to where it needed to go was immediately arrested and servitorized. What they did was their jobs, and they didn't even know anything. It didn't say anything. They didn't open the document.
There is also one other female custodies that has some really awesome lore.
Oh, okay.
I don't know her name, but she got on a jet bike and jumped out of a ship in low orbit.
Oh, okay. I mean,
so basically, the female custodies are all members of Jackass. And the custodies are all Stringfellows.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Oh. I loved, I can't remember who it was that was with Gilliman when he's doing the Indomitus Crusade. One of them goes with Gilliman, and he's the most, like, autistic person you've ever met.
Oh, Coquan.
Yeah. Even Gilliman's pretty autistic. Gilliman's like, shut the fuck up. Like, just fuck off. Where it's like, they're like calculating where they're fighting the Iron Warriors. They're like, the bridge officers are trying to, like, calculate the targeting. Bear in mind, it's obviously like over hundreds of miles of space. They've got to calculate the gravity of planets and things. So like, and he's like, it's like 40 seconds to impact, and he's like, he's wrong. It's actually 42.1 seconds. Even Kim was like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, do you want to? You're a custodian. You're meant to guard me. I will make you do this man's position. If you like, I will send you down there to be nothing but a fucking gunnery sergeant. If you fucking keep talking shit.
Yeah. One of my favorite lines comes from the Dawn of Fire series about Coquan.
Oh yeah.
There's a remembrancer who is talking with another custodian. Custodian who actually has a sense of humor, by the way. And he asked the custodian about the fact that every custodian is tailor-made.
Yeah.
And so when the custodian says yes, the remembrance then turns around and he's not a remembrance though, he's a historitor now.
Yes.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
The historitor turns around to the custodian and goes, so someone made the decision to make khorne a total arsehole.
Yeah, doesn't even the custodian laugh at that?
Yeah, the custodian laughs at that, and there is no repercussions for that historitor.
They're like, yeah, that's fair enough. That was a good joke.
Yeah.
He is an asshole.
I think the custodian is called khorne or something like that.
Okay, I don't know.
He's a great character and gets murdered in another book, which really saddens me.
Okay. Very weird custodians.
He was such a great character, and then he gets murdered, admittedly by a knight. Yeah.
Oh Christ! Okay, it took a whole night to kill him. Fair enough. Jesus. Who could like a Primarch? I was thinking it was like, no, I got hit by a volcano cannon. Oh, well, that's fair. Look at that.
Yeah, it was a big volcano cannon. Yes.
Him and half of a city got melted. I'm like, oh, that's fair enough. Yeah, that would make sense how he died. Unfortunately,
he and a bunch of Mordians got murdered.
Oh, it's always the guardsmen that just die in droves. Poor guardsmen.
Yeah. A Sister of Silence manages to survive, and
how the fuck did she survive a volcano cannon?
Because she was she's a Sister of Silence who's trained to be an assassin and kind of snuck away from the area before the fight broke out.
Oh, okay.
She attempted to assassinate. She attempted to assassinate the person who tried to kill everyone.
Oh, okay.
She failed.
Oh.
This happens in the first act, and then the next two acts are the repercussions of it.
Oh. Jesus,
it all happens because they didn't preserve the body of the princess of the area well enough in the flight from where she died to her home planet.
Oh God. Oh, I've got to play the bloody what is it? The fucking Rogue Trader game, because I've heard you can go and be part of nobility with that, and apparently there's some crazy options that the nobility have.
So every time you meet a new character, whether they be friend or foe, you can get your seneschal to introduce you. Unfortunately, because I was playing the Iconoclast, rather than the other two options that you can go for, I never did that because I was like try to be down to earth for the people sort of character.
Yeah.
But my next playthrough, I'm gonna go and be that prick.
Yeah, apparently you could be. There's one bit where you go to the nobles, and he has all of his servants. I think it's their tongues he cuts out. He cuts out all the tongues of his servants just because he's like, peasants shouldn't be able to speak in my presence. And there's generally an option in your dialogue to go like, wow, that's such a good idea. Maybe I should consider it for my crew. As your fucking, like, your crewman has stood behind you. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because obviously you interact with two other rogue traders in the area that you're in.
Oh, okay.
And one of them is very much the orthodox rogue trader who's like really religious and is like, oh, everyone has to bow down to the emperor as a god and all of that.
Yeah,
and the other, the zealot, and the other one is like, oh, I'm just out to have fun and hunt xenos and stuff like that.
He's big game hunter.
Yeah.
There's actually a 40k like D&D sort of thing, and it is a rogue. Like how it works is, one of you is a rogue trader. One of your party members has to step as the leader as a rogue trader, but the classes you can bring like someone can be like an Eldar or an Orc that he's hired, and it's going through a Blackstone fortress.
I own the PDFs for that. I own the
Oh, do
PDFs of
you?
Rogue Trader. Yeah,
Oh damn! I'm gonna have to.
and
I
Death
think
Watch.
has Deathwatch got its own PDF?
Yeah, Death Watch has got its own PDF tabletop game.
Oh damn! Okay.
So there's those two. Then there was another two that was part of that same series called Only War, which is purely for guardsmen.
Okay, so you might as well get 16 character sheets ready.
Uh, have you ever heard the story of the All Guardsmen party?
Is that the one where they're fighting the orcs?
They start off fighting orcs and they fight some Tyranids, and
And every session, well, they basically get wiped every session.
they were getting wiped every session, and then after a fight with the Tyranids, they get taken in by the Inquisition, and then they start playing Dark Heresy instead
Oh, okay.
with the group of their survivors.
Okay. I don't know if it might not be the same one. There was one, maybe it's not a Reddit thread, where they did it was like a homebrew one where they're guardsmen it was specifically against orcs.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, it was basically, it was super hard. He made it like proper 40k difficulty for a guardsman. And we would just have like character sheet after, like our guardsman would die like maybe even twice or three times a session. Your character would just get absolutely destroyed. And there's one point where like at the end of the session, one guardsman's left, and the character's like, "Yeah, fuck this! I'm not fighting like these 50 orcs that are left. I'm just gonna run." And then the next session opens up with the commissar executing him. And he loses his character.
That's genuinely the start of the All Guardsmen party.
Oh, is it? Maybe it is All Guardsmen party.
So you obviously didn't get far enough into it where they get into the Dark Heresy, the Dark Heresy stuff.
Yeah.
Because, but yeah, like that's genuinely an event that happens in theirs where they were overrun. One of them run away, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we started the next session with him being executed."
Poor guardsman. It's like Nexus Pariah, where the fucking Krieg have been mind shackled. Everyone's like zombies and mind shackled.
Yeah.
In the show, and that Salamander's like, "Oh, guardsman!" Like he's such a really nice.
Yeah.
like obviously tries to kill him, and I think he breaks its spine, doesn't he? And discards it. And it's like the Kriegsman manages to get enough cognitive memory that he asks him to. He's like, "Kill me." He's like, "There can be no quick death for traitors," and just leaves him. And he like, it's not his fault, my guy. It's just so horrible. I love it. It's also nice seeing poxwalkers. Well, not poxwalkers, but zombies tear apart a fucking death mark.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, they'd be on that next level. Humans apparently 4K can tear apart a fucking living metal robot.
And yet the living metal robot still manages to survive for long enough for the salamander to hunt it down and use his head to
radio
radio Saras or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Illuminated Saras, yeah.
Yeah.
God, Saras is fucking evil. Jesus Christ. Saras is so he's just messed up.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they all are really the bloody good old skelly boys, the Necrons. But yeah, that is funny.
Yeah.
It's just so bad. I love it. Anyway, we've waffled on we've got on a massive tangent at the end.
Yeah,
then.
we went on a
That's
massive
fine.
tangent at the end. At least it's not another 4-hour episode that I'm having to cut into 2 episodes.
That is true.
Which
But at
also,
least it makes it. You get like
just for the
podcast
listeners,
time.
just for the listeners at home, the outtakes for that I did give to Artex to upload, and he then completely forgot. So that will be going up on my channel at some point, along with the episodes from now on. We're swapping over from Artex's channel to my channel. The old one's still going to be up on Artex's channel. I'm not going to re-upload them. But there will be a playlist on my channel that will take you to those ones and then into these ones. Anyway, I think we should say goodbye there.
I think we should. Do you want to lead us out?
Yeah. So thank you for listening. This has been the Straight Up Warlords. I have been your host, Jem. With me has been Kat.
Night, guys.
And Diesel.
See you later, guys.